So this is what you can expect from just a standard pop-up. Since there's no way to access the inside of the pop-up, what happens is there's just no way that leaves, big large items of organic material, can find their way out. You can't service it. You can't get in here because the way this pop-up is made, there's this bar going across, so you can't fit your hand in there. So, I want to just take this opportunity to show you what we see every day. You can just see the grass roots were all growing down in here because this is not done like a little, mini dry well. And then once that started to plug with organic material, just nothing was getting out. Nothing. So that's why we're here. They've had trouble with their roof runoff water, and it's caused them problems with their investment. We're going to protect what's probably most people's largest investment in their life, and that's their home. And that's what we do. All right, so this existing downspout ran to here. That's not far enough. Just 10 feet, and they sell these pieces that are 10 feet long in the big box stores. So unfortunately, people are misled. You want to go farther than that typically. It's super flat up here, so we need to get the water out of here. There's no way we can empty this line. It'll just freeze in the winter. Super flat up here, so it's just going to stay full of water. So we ran it as the grade dropped. We're going to empty the line out entirely.
When installing a pop-up emitter, make sure you get the water far away from the structure. The further you run away from the house, the more the grade drops. And the other thing, when installing a pop-up, make sure you choose a pop-up that doesn't have a bar that goes across the opening. This is a failed experiment. This is just something that I've seen for 35 years, and I just keep seeing it, and I just keep seeing it, and I'm finally sounding the alarm. We've made a pop-up emitter that is better. It's not going to trap the leaves in. When you have a bar that goes across the pop-up like that, that's what it does. It won't allow the leaves to flow out during those really hard rains. A really hard rain is what cleans your underground buried downspout system. It flushes everything through. If leaves are left behind, this will clog your underground buried downspout system. You will end up with a flooded basement or a flooded crawl space over this. 9 times out of 10, a wet basement is because the grass grew over one of these tiny pop-ups, or they clogged because leaves could not get through because of this bar that goes across the opening. It's a terrible design, and we have something better. We have the answer. Let me show you one more example of what happens to these pop-ups, these cheap and expensive pop-ups that so much is riding on. And then I'm going to show you what our answer to this is.
So these pop-ups have a bar across them. Leaves get hung up on there. The leaves can't get out. Can't get your hand down in there, to clean it. And then these are extremely weak. You can see this one's broken. We find them in this condition quite often. Now the mosquitoes can land inside this unit that's got a bunch of organic material building up in it. And there's always standing water because it's not built like a mini dry well. It doesn't have the sump bottom, no stone around it. And you can just see how the leaves and the organic material and the mosquito larvae, not to mention that standing water does have a pungent odor when the temperatures really get up there. When you have those, hot days of summer, this actually gives off a real pungent odor. So for all these reasons is why we went ahead and manufactured our own pop-up. We have a turf restrictor plate so the grass can grow up on the plate and it won't cover the opening. The opening, you can get your hand in there. And there's just absolutely no issues during big storms when it's really coming down and you have a really good flow of water and your lines just get really cleaned nice during those big storm. I mean, this thing just stands up tall and just the big leaves just come, flowing out of it. grass grows over these and they get lost. Once the grass grows over it, no water's coming out. No leaves are coming out of this to speak of anyways because of this bar. And this one's just plugged solid with organic material. Just years of leaves rotting and decaying. You just end up with the whole pop-up just full. As this breaks down, as every year the leaves break down, it turns into, organic material topsoil, all because of this very restrictive top. You can't get your hand in here to clean it out. It was a failed design 30 years ago. It's still a failed design today.
Always run a pop-up far away from your structure with an inline catch basin. That way you could always access it. Super easy to run a jetter through there if you had an issue. Make sure to always use a pop-up that the leaves can flow freely out of, and use a pop-up that has a turf restrictor plate so that the grass doesn't grow up on it. Again, if you run far away from the home, you end up lower. There's usually more fall as you get away from the house. This will empty your entire line so that water's not sitting in that line.
Super easy to get your hand inside. Go ahead and grab leaves, sticks, pine cones, anything that floats. And you have this big plate. The grass can grow up on the plate instead of growing over the discharge line. So this way, it's waiting and ready. The guys put the sod back, they backfilled, did a real nice job. Got our inline catch basin for shingle gravel, and it's super easy to get inside. If you want to just run a garden hose, run a jetter, whatever it may be, you just want to have access. Don't paint yourself into a corner.
If you found any of this information helpful, please give us a thumbs up. It supports the channel. And if you have a video that you would like me to make, put that suggestion in the comments. And until the next video.